Hello, this week we're going to be discussing Obsession. Will it be a supernatural romantic comedy or will it be a psychological horror story that will make you look at your partner in a completely different way and question their sanity? Hold on to your one wish, Willows. It's about to get weird. Hello, all. Welcome to Middle Aged Geeks. I'm Phil. That is Daz. And this week we're going to be discussing Obsession, which is the, I suppose, first full length movie by Curry Barker, if we don't count his hour long YouTube movie that they made. Daz, I'm just going to do as usual, do a quick chat about the synopsis and all the rest of it, and then I'll bring you in to get your initial thoughts on this movie and see if you enjoyed it as much as I did. So the synopsis of this one is: after breaking the mysterious One Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. So yeah, as I said, this one is written, directed, and edited by Curry Barker. It's starring Michael Johnston as Bear or Baron, Indy Navarrete as Nikki Freeman, Cooper Tomlinson as Ian, Megan Lawless as Sarah, and then a small appearance from Andy Richter as Carter, which was cool to see him in that little small role. So yeah, just a couple of bits on the movie as well. It was a pretty small budget compared to some other horrors we do. This was, I reckon, it was somewhere around the million quid mark, I think. And I think so far, even the opening weekend, it's made 7 million. So yeah, Blumhouse, who made this, are laughing, which seems to be the way with them, knocking it out of the park when it comes to making movies for fuck all and then making a fortune. So Daz, look, I'd be very interested to hear what you thought about this one because, once again, I feel like we are turning into a horror podcast, which suits me fine, obviously. But you are being drowned in this genre that wouldn't have really been your top of the pops. But I'm interested to know what you thought about this one.
Yeah, no, I would never have gone to see this if it wasn't for the podcast, and I'm delighted that I did go and see it. This is a brilliant movie. I absolutely loved it. Again, like Hokum a few weeks ago, it's more once the movie is finished and I walk out, then I can really properly enjoy it, because sitting through it is pretty nerve-wracking at the best of times. But yeah, I love it. This is like top tier. Not even just top-tier horror filmmaking, just top-tier filmmaking. Curry Barker is a genius. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't see his YouTube short movie. It's a movie that it's kind of like a psychological horror, but it's also a movie that touches on relationship anxiety, but it's also a dark comedy at times, and it's absolutely terrifying. The performances are stellar. It looks fantastic. The score I thought was great. And it's expertly written and directed. It takes such a simple premise and just expands on it. And the central performance from Indy as Nikki is absolutely mind-blowing. It's so layered, and that just takes this movie and moves it into the stratosphere for me in terms of horror, and in terms of just a kind of genre pick in general. Did you like it yourself?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And even just if we want to start on performances, before we get into writing, directing, the performance, I thought she was absolutely outstanding. And a very interesting tidbit was that when Barker was doing the screening, he noticed that there was absolutely no chemistry between the two leads, between Michael Johnston and Indy Navarrete, and he was like, "This is fantastic," because that's what she's friend zoned him, and so I just thought that was brilliant. But I thought, I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed everybody else's performances, but she is incredible, and I haven't seen some of the other stuff she's in. I think she's in that Superman and Lois, and a couple of other things that I haven't seen, but. Yeah, I was blown away, because she's got a lot of work to do here, both physically and like the switch up between the, whether she's psycho and when she's jumped back into, whatever you want to, lucidity or whatever you want to call it. There's just some of it is just absolutely amazing. I'm dying to see more of what she can do, because that was just a wonderful performance. And I do hope she's getting the plaudits she deserves. What did you think of the guy Michael Johnston playing Bear? I think he's gotten a bit of flack for it, but I think that his performance is I think it's on purpose. Like he's playing this, nice guy, which is what, guys, how come the girls always pick I always pick the dumbass as the nice guy when really he's just as fucking toxic, and he is. Like he's trying to play off himself as this, the innocent, nervous guy who's waiting out, but really he's just as toxic. Like he knows what he's doing is wrong, and yeah, like I was actually fine with his performance. There was times where I'm going, "What the fuck are you doing?" at the character, but I was completely okay, I think, with his performance.
Yeah, I think it's totally believable what he's doing. It's not that horror trope where someone's doing something so ridiculous that you're kind of go, "Why are you running out the door?" One of these things. But I thought he was excellent. Like he's obviously overshadowed by herself, but he plays like that kind of sad, timid, kind of cowardly character at the start that you kind of hate, but then you're kind of dragged into a struggle. You believe his looks and actions when this. The girl of his dreams that he gets, and it's just slowly kind of the relationship is kind of twisting around him and just starts to fall apart. But he still doesn't just like kind of see the warning signs straight off and go, "Get the fuck out of there." He's still kind of going, "Oh, please stop doing this crazy stuff," because he just wants it to work, and you're kind of sympathetic towards him while also thinking he's a bit of a dick because he knows what he's doing and how the movie progresses. It goes where it goes, but like he wants to work it out. Not that you're on his side, but you do feel for him as it starts to go kind of tits up. And
I'm the opposite. I didn't feel for him. I guess I was just angry at him. I think if we kind of move into the kind of writing of it a little bit, like this is something similar to a point that I kind of made on another podcast. I'm not sure if we ended up cutting it out before, but it's to do with something that I'm not going to say it actually because we'll get cancelled, but it rhymes with ate grape. And like this is something that was in, and I'm going to call it Wonder Woman 1984. And it's consent. And that's what this is about. Like he's essentially drugging this person and assaulting them. He knows what he's doing. And his friend has pointed out, is this weird? But yet he's still doing this. He knows what he's doing is wrong. And not just that. I mean, he knows that's not her. He knows from the moment she starts acting weird, he's like, this isn't you. So he knows from the very start, yet he carries on anyway. And I think that I think it's almost a blind spot when it comes to movies like this from Hollywood in general, that like we've got this monkey's paw type thing, where you get to make a choice. But the whole thing of Wonder Woman is they make it this romantic kind of thing. Whereas this movie, Obsession, it shows it through an actual lens of, no, this is how fucking wrong it is. Like, you made it something lovely and da-da-da. Like, in Wonder Woman, Diana has sex with Trevor, while his, like, consciousness is basically piloting this other guy's body. He never consented to it. But because it's this big, glossy, superhero, oh, they're in love, then we just let it go. And I like that, the fact that mainstream stuff ignores that in some of these body swap things. That Obsession leans into it, and Curry Barker is like, no, this is so wrong. It's an ethical nightmare. And I really, really like that. I think it treats it with the kind of that subject with the gravity that it deserves. And so, this guy who might come across as, he's the nice guy compared to his buddy Ian, who's a bit of a woman's man and a messer. He's not. He's just as he's worse. He's worse. And I love that it doesn't hide away from that it really kind of jumps down on the fact that her mind, basically, Nikki's mind has been hijacked.
Her free will. Free will's been taken from her. Yeah. It's not just like, this is fucking crazy. And I love the way the movie kind of leans into that writing-wise, where it's not just, she just... her free will is taken for her and everything, but she doesn't turn into like a demon or a zombie or something that's played for pure horror, or in something else, where it's body swap or something that's pure comedy or awkward situations and all that. This is pure, the fact that you kind of see the shifting and the shifting in her performance, where there's moments where she's like, what the hell is going on? And then she just randomly just screams, and then it's back to like, oh, sorry for, I won't do that again. And all this multiple layers of this person inside, and it's not overwritten to the point where they're banging over the head saying, she's in there, she's trying to get out. It's just, you get a glimpse at that haunting scenario she must be facing inside just by those shifts. And that's where some of the scares come from, is not a jump scare. It's just the scare is the trauma of the shifting personality in her. Just, effortlessly, just from a scream back to a softness, and it's just it kind of
one
leaves
brain,
you to
one mind trying to comprehend this,
fighting for this, and towards the end it really fucking doubles down to that, but it kind of leaves you to process that madness yourself, and I think it works as well writing wise, because it's obviously a supernatural premise, but it kind of treats it seriously. Obviously, you have the One Wish Willow and blah blah blah, and like the supernatural elements, or the wish comes true, but it doesn't lean into those supernatural and fantasy vibes. Apart from that, it treats it as like, this is a real person, this is what's happening, and it's this kind of situational relationship fucking horror drama that's kind of happening with this fucking kind of douchebag and this woman, trapped in it, and it's just it's eerie, and it's really dark, and but it manages all those kind of tones from being kind of, it's dark comedy, there's horror, but then there's really just psychological trauma you're watching through her, just the moral implications of it are just flying off the screen, just going, what the fuck is going on here?
You can see then the kind of how similar the kind of theme and how similar it is to Get Out in that way. Like she's essentially in the sunken place from Get Out. It's there's so many. So there's even a full on nod at one point. She's in the restaurant with him. This isn't a spoiler. It might even be in the trailer.
The trailer, I think.
Yeah. When she's sitting across and she just starts going, no, with the big smile on her face, and it's exactly like God, what is her name? Betty Gabriel from Get Out, when she's doing that as well, and then you see the tear coming down her eye and stuff, and it's just it's an incredible scene from Betty Gabriel. She's brilliant. Yeah, and both it's showing that glitch from the real person inside and what we're seeing on the outside, and I love that. That's obviously a direct reference to that because of how similar it is. But I did want to say about where he got the idea for, because obviously the monkey paw thing isn't anything new, but he actually got it from an episode. He was watching the Treehouse of Horror, where Homer gets the monkey's paw to make his wishes, and of course things are scary. So he was watching Treehouse of Horror, and he just came to me. He's like, what if a nice guy got his hands on the monkey paw and made these wishes? That's where the idea came from, which I thought it was great that you've got some people who come out and say, oh, it was from this novel that I'd written, or I drew in my childhood experiences. And he's like, that was Treehouse of Horror. I love that. I love that honesty from him. But yeah, I loved the whole, basically, I suppose you've already touched on it, Daz, the way they've controlled the tone throughout. Yeah, it does have some like proper like laugh out loud moments, but it gets seriously dark and unnerving at times. Like a lot of her lines that come off camera as well. You're not even seeing her, and the way they've got the sound, you don't know where the fuck she's coming from, or the screaming. It's just it's wonderful sound design as well, I thought. Yeah,
and it's like the mix of like obviously the pure horror visuals, but also, as you said, like there's parts where you can just hear her, and there's other parts where she's just kind of framed in a doorway and her face isn't lit. It's just an interesting choice where she's just standing there and you can see her, and you're just trying to imagine what her facial expression is. Like, is she smiling, is she crying, or anything like that? But it's it's just the fact that, like, in terms of tone, as you were talking about, the unnerving scenarios and kind of psychological terror mixed with kind of funny scenes as well. Like, what I loved is the movie leans into the kind of weirdness of it as well. It's like it's scary and all that, but the scares never telegraphed and all that. But sometimes, romantic music is playing and then something might fucking happen, and you're never comfortable. But the weirdness of the scenario, I thought, really came through in a couple of scenes, like the house party scene and stuff like that, where it's just it's not scary horror. It's just really weird and uncomfortable scenes, and it's so believable when she's just doing something weird at a house party and reciting some weird fucking story she's written or something, and everyone's just looking around, just going, "What the fuck is happening?" They're just no one's saying anything, because that's what you do in that scenario.
Yeah.
Looking down and like, "Oh, does anyone want a beer? What the fuck is going on with Nikki?" Like that kind of stuff. It's just awkward weirdness, and that was a treat. And that's another part when you're talking about that tone. It's just managing it just brilliantly. It's just really, really, really good. But yeah, sound design is excellent. It's not turned up to 11 like Hokum a few weeks ago, but it's eerie. It's really eerie in it, especially in the cinema and fucking surround sound. It's just her voice when she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," whatever. And there's one point she's watching him sleep, and you're like, "Where the fuck is she in the room?" You know what I mean? And it's not played as like a kind of ghost scary thing. It's kind of eerie. But then when she kind of screams, especially in the cinema, or if you're watching this at home and streaming, put on earphones because her scream is just Jesus Christ. If you had like a cup of Coke or water or something, you're squeezing the bottle while you're listening to her. It's just piercing. Yeah,
I thought another way that they kind of did to make things unnerving was obviously, I mean, how this was shot. It was basically because it saved money, I suppose. They shot the two different houses. Everything was shot in the one house, basically, bar the bar and the shop where they work, and the outside scenes. Like all the other stuff, the houses were all the same house, and they just changed it around, which I think was great. But what I loved about how they did the shot, they did the what do they call it, extra headspace, and they're because they're trying to make it look like something was off, that give you that uncanny valley vibe. And so everything was just to make things look like they're not quite right, and so everybody's kept dead center in their shot with this extra headspace above it. So you're almost got like, is something going to come from there? Like, and it's just to keep you on edge. And I really, really like that. And I think stuff like that, and we've mentioned it here before, these things like that are so simple, yet so clever to get a very primal response from you, because your automatic reaction, I've seen so many movies, so many years, if you're putting someone center and giving, why have they got out of headspace? Something's going to have to come from there. What is it? Like, and it's just there to keep you on edge. I love those.
It's like a horror fake out. It's just like someone's just going, something going to come from here, and then they'll punch you from the other side. But that was, like the framing in this is spectacular cinematography wise. Like, it obviously looks brilliant, and it's lit very well. And for something that's coming in and around the $1 million mark, it just goes to show that like what you can do with a smaller budget and talented people. And a lot of these people, like people who did the score and cinematographer, they haven't done a lot of stuff. Like, this is essentially kind of a YouTuber group that are coming together.
It's comedy group, isn't it? He's part of.
And crew as well. It's phenomenal. The level of mastery on show. But like when you're talking about that headroom, it's a similar thing that they're using, where there's a lot of times where it's just there's not a lot of camera movement, but the camera will just be stationary on somebody, and it's just as simple. The camera just lowers into frame to reveal something. Whether it's Nikki kind of standing there smiling, and then we lower down to see her pissing on the ground or whatever it is. It's just some weird stuff, but it's just such subtle controlled movements that's just so eerie in horrors like this. It's just fantastic. Amazing.
I think again that leans into something you mentioned earlier, Daz, as well, is that the description of supernatural stuff. They let you know what's happened, reason she suddenly become obsessed. They have to make a reason for it, and so we've got this One Wish Willow, but we don't get a massive amount of background, anything about the lore. Like, it doesn't start off. Some movies like this would want to give us tons, and at the very start you'd see the One Wish Willow being created by fucking something mental or some sort of curse, and then we'd get the credits, obsession, and then somebody finds it. Like, I watched that movie Whistle recently, and we get a whole thing about, and then again, terrible movie, but a lot of these things follow, they'll follow a certain thing, whereas they in this One Wish Willow thing was just something that he designed along with his mom. They come up with the design of what this was going to be, and that was it. And I like that we get only a little bit of a read into what this fucking thing is, when he has to make a phone call and it's no help to him. And what would happen in so many other movies was, and in Whistle and in Smile and in all these other things, there's always a way out, or there's something you can do that can get you out of this predicament. In Smile, it was, you can stop it if you go and kill somebody else. You can do this if you change this. Final Destination, if you stop it, it has to skip you. But in this, it was just like, no, you're fucked. Like that.
If you die, it'll cancel it. And I think because they keep it that simple, that frees you up in your kind of runtime, and you don't have to spend so much time explaining the lore, the backstory, or this is what happened, and blah blah, to foreshadow and set things up for the final act or something. This is like, you're kind of fucked unless you die. Okay, thanks, bye. So, okay, which is it's just fucking great. It's just and the fact that, like, obviously when I think it's in the trailer when he's on the phone to somebody about that, But then there's a part where he goes back to the shop, and it's just in simple interaction with the person who sold it. He's just like, well, like, you made the wish, you shouldn't have fucking done that. And he's just like, what are you talking about? Like, this is an actual fucking thing. It's just played so straight and so just like, you made the wish. This is on you, buddy. And there is no way out, and it's kind of suitable for that character and what happens to him. But
I agree. I think that's I love the fact that the basically Balzoff and stuff are just like, yeah, of course it's a real thing. As if everybody knows in the world about these One Wish Willows, and he's after looking it up on Reddit and everything. And I just love that they just, of course it's, But that is brilliant. It's great because I think that in other movies you do want more of an explanation because you want to know the rules around it. Whereas in this, you get the rules very, very simply to you. You made the wish, it's gone arseways, there's no way out of it. Like it's just, that's great. But if it was more complicated, I'd want to know a bit more about the rules of the universe and all that so I could get my head around it. But no, I thought that this was just enough to give you the scenario and then away you go. But yeah, I would just love to see more from Curry Barker after this. I just, it's like both him and obviously Indy Navarrete, like they were, both for me is both an absolute revelation because I haven't seen his comedy stuff or her previous acting stuff. But now I'm like, right, I got to do a deep dive on both of them now because I was just so blown away. I can't wait to see what he does next. And this is doing so well. There's no way he's not getting, another big budget. And like he's 26. When I was 26, I won't repeat what I was doing around that age, but like I was being an absolute mess of a person at the age of 26, and he's out here directing fucking multi-million-dollar, grossing movie. Like, he's got just I can only imagine where he's going to go from here.
It's like you talk about like breakout performances from Indy as Nicky, but like he is absolute star of this in terms of movie making. It's just like it's confident, stylish direction, like without being overly kind of polished or anything like that. But it's like his framing and his choice of shots and the fact that he edited as well, and it's edited fucking brilliantly, especially in terms of scares and suspense and dread and all that. But the fact that he manages from a directorial point of view, he gets performances out of the characters. But it's just that managing of humor and dread and awkward romance and the escalating kind of horror. He does that so effectively that straight away you're just going, oh my God, like give him just anything he wants to do. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Do you want to have a quick chat about some spoilers? We'll just do a couple of minutes on spoilers. So if you're leaving us there, we're going to give it a quick star rating and then we'll see you next week. So Daz, on this one, like I'm interested to see because you've given it high praise and you gave Hokum high praise and a very high score. So I'm interested to hear what you gave this one.
This is easy peasy five stars for me. This is if I thought Hokum was really like excellent movie, but I think this is better. Kind of in every way. It's kind of my type of horror, I think. I'm finding a type of horror for me. It's this kind of psychological horror that doesn't lean too much into supernatural elements and kind of weird witches and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, 5 stars. It's just, I couldn't really think of anything when I was going through kind of notes. Just like, I can't think of anything bad about this. The performance is spectacular. It's a brilliant piece of writing. The premise is expanded on perfectly and it's so simple. It's nice, 1 hour, 50 minutes or something like that. Everything kind of works for me, but it really comes down to the director, who's spectacular, and Indy, who's just mesmerizing from, you're just watching her on screen. And like horror performances don't get as much wide or mainstream praise as they should. And I guess Amy Madigan got it for Weapons and obviously got an Oscar, and you're hoping that will open the floodgates, because this is just an utterly captivating and stunning performance. Unhinged, sympathetic, fucking volatile, unpredictable. She was breathtaking, and she just elevates it from what could have been just a 4-star movie, and it's just straight up to 5 stars. I thought this was absolutely fantastic and one of my favorite movies of the year.
Excellent. I feel like I put myself into a box here because I've never given any of our movies 5 stars, and if I start now, then I'll do the ones I've maybe 4 and 4.5 won't be yet. So I'm going as high as I have in any other one, which is 4.5. Like, my only issue, I think, is I think that the final act could have been shorter. I think that the build up to what we were getting, escalation that was dragged out a little bit, but only a little bit. That's only a small gripe. For the most part, I really thought I agree with all the points you mentioned. As it's excellent, and I'm glad that someone points a fucking camera at this consent angle, and I hope the Wonder Woman makers and writers are looking at themselves in a mirror in shame. So if you are leaving there, here we're gonna have a couple of minutes about spoilers. But as you can tell, we absolutely loved it. We've given it a very high score, but we'd love to know what you think. So jump in the comments, send us an email, whatever you want. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And we'll see you on the next one. If you're hanging around, we're just gonna have a quick chat about some of the spoilerific stuff. Let's think about it is like spoiler wise, it's not a brand new massive story that there's anything that we can really spoil. But some of I would say one of the deaths of the friend whose name's Sarah, is it, in the car.
Unbelievable.
And she puts the brick on the fucking on the steering wheel and just bam, fucking hell, like that.
And it just keeps going, smacking her head off it, and just keeps it in frame. And his reaction again is when we touched on that like it's that resignation. There's so many moments where he's just resigned to the fact, like, oh fuck, like this is it. Like there's no like, oh my god, it's just he's sitting there, his blood splattering all over his face as she's just mashing her face into this fucking brick over and over again. And it's it's just the fact that it keeps going. And apparently the director said, I think he said he had to cut some of that out because they must have went a bit fucking further, and because he wanted to, because in the States, like, he wanted the R rating and not NC-17, because NC-17 just restricts you in a lot of cinemas and showtimes or something. But that was astonishing. Astonishing. But then there's so many like just moments where even the fact when she's just talking in that house party and she has that giant Jenga block, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she just starts smashing herself in the face with it. And just little moments like that, you're going, fuck it, this is so fucking dark. It's so unpredictable, but not in the kind of boo, shock horror. Because there are a few jump scares, but it's even little things when he's eating a sandwich and when Sarah's going like, what's the note mean that because she made you your lunch? It's like, what was it, a cat sandwich or something? Or what did you think? My new recipe, cat? And he's just looking down, he's eating his fucking dead cat, and just like, oh Christ almighty. That they kind of stuck with me, but it's that one shot where she's barricaded the door with tape and stuff, and he's just like, okay, what the fuck is going on? He opens it, she's like, bye, and she just stands there smiling, and the camera just stays in her. And I should have touched on this in editing, but it just stays on her smiling, and she's like smiling, yeah. And your one Indy was saying the director didn't say cut, and so she just kept smiling there and just kept the take for fucking ages. And that's when the camera eventually kind of drops down. You see that she's just pissing on the floor, just standing there waiting for him. And then later on she shat herself. She's still standing there. It's like, oh my god, it's fucking it's vicious. Like
that door got a full-on laugh out of me, like, because you see him, I was like, why he seems so uneasy and he's not leaving the house and stuff, and obviously you must have seen the door already. Then they just cut to the door, and it's like something out of you would see in like a slapstick comedy kind of thing. The whole door just plastered with fucking duct tape. So that is brilliant.
And that's that tone being nailed in terms, because any other movie, like, you'd see that door and be like, horror music, like, oh, and she'd be like, don't leave now, whatever. But she's just like, acts as if she hasn't done it. She's just like, oh, just, if you can't get out the door, then you might have to stay with me. It's so innocent and soft and everything, but you're like, oh my god. But her, towards the end, when you have just the sequence with him and when he kills himself, and when you think she's going to shoot herself, and then she kind of snaps out of it, and that for me is another reason why it goes to 5 stars. The final shot, and it's got some of the best end credits I've ever seen in my life. But it's the shot of her, and it kind of pans down and then goes to the TV, so the TV's then upside down. And when it was doing that, I was like, please play the credits on the TV, please play it. And the credits come on the TV upside down. It's brilliant. But you hear some music comes on, and you just hear her wailing over the credits. Like, in the cinema, you go, this is absolutely fucking brilliant. So weird.
That's on that, because one of the big spoilers I wanted to talk about is a question I had for you, because I was a little bit confused because at the end, right, we know that to stop the curse and to free her, he has to die. That's the way that you end up doing it. So he takes a bunch of pills, he ends up dying, right? But before that, he wants to try and get someone else to make a wish to cancel out his wish. And so he has this one wish willow out of the packet. Now it's on the ground. And when he's inside about trying to get himself to puke up the pills because he's a coward and he's changed his mind, he hears the sound of it being broken, the music being played outside. So does he rush out of that room because he thinks that she's made the wish and everything's back to normal? Is that why he comes out? Or like, what's the reason of showing? Because it cuts to the thing and we get a shot of this one wish willow, but no one has made a wish. Like she's the one that broke it, I assume, when she stands on it because he's in the bathroom when it breaks. So does obsessed Nikki make a wish? Like what was the significance of showing us that or having it break and doing that? I just don't get it. Or is it a full really mean yank the rug out from under him that he's about to get sick, then he hears her stepping on it and he thinks, okay, everything's going to be okay. But then when he walks out, no, it's not.
It's his last out, I think. It's his last just hope that it's still just destroyed. I mean, it's like him getting his comeuppance, I think, because of the character. And for me, I felt, like when I was saying I felt kind of sympathetic, you're almost just like, you feel sorry for a villain sometimes when they have a moment when they're just like, oh, fuck, and you have that soft moment or something like with Thanos or something like that. And it's just like, that he thinks he's going to kill himself in the bathroom, takes the pills, and he's like, maybe he just has that one last thing. Oh, maybe I'll go out and maybe things will be okay. And it's not. It's really fucking not. But yeah, but it's just so sad. But like even the part when his friend Ian breaks it and he goes, I wish for $1 billion, when the money falls down from the ceiling, but then there's that shot and it's a shot through him as the money's falling down. And it's that resignation where he's just like, oh fuck. And the music kicks in. It's just a shot of him and he falls to his knees. And it's just that alone. It's just like, it's fucking brilliant. Like it's just, both characters been broken in different ways.
I loved his death when Ian comes over to Claire's house and he's like, I've got $1 million, do that. And she just one shot to the head, just fucking kills him. Fucking brilliant.
I got $1 billion. Yeah, it's just so fucking good, man. It's so good. I'm so happy I went to see it.
Yeah, I think we'll finish it up there then. Okay, guys, thanks very much for sticking around, and we're going to be back next week with another great movie. Keep on liking, subscribing. We really appreciate it. Stick some comments in. It's great to see you all enjoying the stuff that we're putting out. We really appreciate it. And yeah, take care of each other, and we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.
See you later.